the question is this: how were we so blind? That's usually my question.
How are we so blind?
How are we blind to select an individual who had his best interest at heart? How blind were we to, not to see the red flags?
The fact,
Being,
okay.
being in a society whereby, we can say that actually majority of us.
I like this. Yeah.
Majority of us are educated. How were we so blind not to see this? What happened? Where did we actually go wrong?
I think there's something that is the most obvious one is religion.
Oh,
That's the most obvious one. Religion, the crime, the goofing and huffing. That is the most obvious one. First, religion. This is a man of God. What do you mean? Like, this is a man of God, and a man of God, does things by the book. So maybe it's a leader from God. You get my point?
Yeah.
The funny part is that religion was the most obvious one. Even after we know all the atrocities and whatnot, or the history of someone, religion was the most obvious one. If you want to corrupt people, you've seen people going to Shakahola, selling, and they are just selling everything to go so that they can go, because they've been told they're going to, they're going to God. And with religion comes hope.
Even when the British came, they came first with
Religion. And with religion comes hope. When you give someone hope, Linford, there's nothing, you're giving me hope. I'm gonna vote for you.
I like that statement.
Yeah, hope.
So hope, if I sell hope to you, that's it.
That's it.
That's how us humans are.
Yeah.
You give me hope. I don't care anything else. Nutrition is a box.
Hope.
Yeah, for sure. But let me also ask you a quick question. What also does that tell about us also? Because here's the thing. I was listening to a dude who was in a cult, and he said that oftentimes we always want to look at the cult as if it's a problem, what the man is actually saying about the whole government system. But also, it tells more about you. Because what really drove you there? It was greed.
That's a good... Before even greed.
You know what I mean?
Who gets hope? Someone who's hopeless.
Yeah.
Where is hopelessness coming from in the people of Kenya? It's coming from the place of desperation. So, back to the system. These are Kenyans, ametoka form 4, ajapata job.
Yeah.
Ama ametoka university, amesoma kitu amesoma accounting nini, but ajapata job, ameanza kuhustle. That's a hopeless person. Yeah. You asked a question. Kwa nini? Why are we Kenyans not concentrating on, why are we so ignorant about governance? How can you think about governance na una food? How can you think about governance na uko na njaa? How?
Or rather, can I say this? Or rather, maybe there hasn't been quite much of an education to show them the importance of governance. It's governance that will bring food to the table. Is it making sense?
The education of Audrey governance.
How much this shit is affecting.
Yeah.
You
personally, do you think it's so true? Personally, do you think governance is to sort a problem? Think about it.
100.
Yes, logically.
Yeah, logically.
But in the back of your head.
In the back of your head, it's other thing.
You know what's up.
In the back of your head, you're not thinking that the government is helping you with nothing. But the fact is that the government has a big role to play with
the nini.
Logically, you know it, but the back of your head. Kesho asubuhi ukiamka utafikiria hivyo.
Asubuhi naamka nenda kujitafutia.
Because at the end of the day, here's what's hitting me. When you're like a mama mboga, then you're hearing about billions just being swindled around. You're like, it really has not much of an impact. You know what I mean? Because, see, mtaja kueducate kukuonyesha, if 500 million inamaanisha nini, speaking that makes sense. I feel what's really actually also going on is also the lack of incentives being put in place to educate the poor or the marginalized or the remote people of Kenya on how some of these things are
How
affecting
important
even
it is.
they as little as what they're actually trying to grow on their shamba, how they're trying to also go on ahead and sell their chicken, how it affects even their small kamamamboga business.
Guys,
Well, okay. But now I think as from last year, like if you know, I think the Gen Z protest really shocked people. I feel like we never expected anything like that in this country. Personally, even me as a Gen Z, I never expected it to get that far. I just knew it's just protest, like noble protest.
Yeah.
I didn't expect, but the problem is that most Gen Z's first idol, unemployed, smart, educated, and we have a lot of ways of protesting. That's why we have people making silhouettes and whatnot, and whatnot. We're idle. Linford, you cannot fight with someone who has nothing to lose. There are people who have nothing to lose,
You can't win that fight.
You can't win that fight because me, I have nothing to lose. So I'm gonna fight you every day of my life, But now I think as from
actually that's what Nani's wife wa Julian mwenye alikuwa wife wa governor Mutula Kilonzo or something alisema Mutua alikuwa anasema what do the people who are fighting the government have in common. Alfred Mutua what do they have in common? They have so much time at their hand. You saying
time. We have time and bundles. We have time and bundles, and bundles are not even that expensive, Also, but I think as from last year, even these mama mbogas and everyone, people have been really woke, because I remember that time when I would watch protests, we'll hear a random man, the camera is in his face and he's there and he's like, Article 1, of the Constitution, that we have rights, that these are our rights. Like, we have a right to protest. We have freedom of speech. We have a right to be on the streets, yeah? We are also, people learn that it's us, the people who employ these people. Power is in us. Power is in the people, It really made me happy, because a random person, a mamboka, someone just on the street, you could hear them quoting the Constitution. You think this person has gone to law school, but it's just about, a few Gen Zs speaking out and whatnot, Gen Zs speaking for their rights and whatnot. Now, even my mom at home, or people know what's up. I feel like things have changed. I feel like things changed in June of 2024.
But can I also say something?
Yeah.
Can I also say something?
Yeah.
I can say that prior the 2024 finance bill protest, I don't think this thing had come so much to my radar, because I think at that particular time, I think we didn't quite have a notion that, or quite thought about how much the political arena affects every social economic sector.
Yeah.
I think we were so blinded to politics. We're also part of the problem. Cause also we did a statistic. I don't know if you can remember, we did Kingdom Economics, and we did a statistics of the young people that actually didn't take a voter's card. Do you know how much they were? 6.3 million.
That's crazy, man.
6.3 million young people were like, we don't want to involve ourselves with politics, because it hadn't quite gotten into a radar on how much this thing is affecting us, our workplace, our biashara, our this and this and this. For the longest time, we were so ignorant on it. You know what I mean? Because how many votes did the president get to power with? It was 6 point.
Yeah.
Aliachana na
200.
Na Raila with how many?
200. I think
200K or something.
Yeah.
200K. Imagine 6.3 million young people. If they could have come together and decided, you know what? We want to do away with this regime. And I feel that's what's actually also going on. God is really up to something. God is really also up to something. Because you can't tell me that, out of the blues, me, I'm just there chilling. Donald had this thing in his heart. At that particular time, he was like, okay, I feel we shouldn't have this conversation at this particular time. We start shooting this podcast today. Then his heart is for it. Then out of the blues, I'm having having conversation with God. Then he's like, this is really at my heart.